Obviously, it's not quite there. It's a little unrealistic to drive with your cab sitting 10 feet in the air. But if you take a closer look at it, the cab itself does sit nicely over the motor. There's plenty of room in here. Once I cut the floors out, I can drop the cab and then refabricate my flooring. It'll give me a little bit less headroom and it'll give me a little bit less leg room, but I'm okay with that. The frame does stick out a little bit too far on the front. I might be able to get away with cutting some of it or cutting some of the cab and then putting a big bumper in the front, so you'd never know that I cut it. Even if you did, it aesthetically it will still look good because the bumper will cover everything that got cut. The back of the cab, the little cutaway for the old transmission will have to get bigger. For the larger transmission and exhaust, that's no big deal. My plan is to cut the frame and basically make the wheelbase as short as I possibly can. But that's the plan for now. Take the cab back off, reinforce it, fabricate floors, start working on more rust repair. I might have to modify the fenders. They might need to be wider. But if you look at the back spacing on this compared to the back spacing on those, and then if you look at the front, the cab, so you can see how it's spaced out right now. So it's obviously quite a bit wider, but once I switch out the wheels with the wheels that are, more like that, that'll shrink that in, and it should work. If I have to, I can widen the fenders, like I said. But it's gonna be cool. I mean, okay, so you should get the point that I can't really get a camera in there at the moment. It's still hanging the cab from the gantry crane. So basically, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to go in and try to cut the seat out. I'm going to try to cut it cleanly up here and then cleanly on this side, and then get rid of the doghouse section so I can remove the whole seat and drop it right down through the bottom of the floor. Cut all the supports around it. My other plan is to put a piece from that door to this door just to brace it, because it's, basically where the seat is now is going to get cut out, so I need something to replace it so that the cab doesn't get all wonky on me. And basically just going to start cutting the floor section out. I mean, what's left of the floor. That way I can reposition the cab over the chassis again with a lot more room. At this point, I've made some good progress. Got the doghouse all unbolted. Was able to cut the supports in here. I need to figure out how to detach this seat without messing up anything important. And then I'm going to start cutting this section up here. Once that's all been removed, I should be good to put the cab back over the chassis. The next thing though is to put a bracket or a brace from there to there. That way when I pull this out, the cab doesn't flex. I thought this was a good place to kind of check in. I cut a lot of stuff out off camera and did a lot of work off camera. My friend came over and we pretty much hacked away at this thing to try to just, I really wanted to just get it in position so I could look at it, see what it looked like. And you can see now, like, the tire is actually lined up with the wheel well. You know, it's actually in position where it's gonna sit. I mean, it's gonna go up or down, side to side a little bit, but it's for the most part in position. We had to cut some of this section out, which is fine because this is all gonna get hidden by a big bumper. In the back, we cut a little bit more than I wanted to, but this is all just gonna get redone anyway. But yeah, the floor is completely cut out and the motor's in there. There's plenty of room for a radiator in here. I mean, maybe not a stock radiator, but a custom one. And I'm gonna have to take a little bit more sheet metal out of there. And then once you're inside, can't really get in there at the moment. Once you're inside, I mean, there's plenty of room. There's not a lot of leg room, but we'll figure it out. It'll take some time and some effort. But yeah, there it is. There it sits. Definitely gonna be putting bigger tires on. These tires are smaller than the tires that these actually come with. But still, looks pretty mean, looks pretty good. Getting there.